Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the economics subject, students. So, as we know that we are going through the fourth chapter of our economics presentation of data. So, as per the things in the previous session, as we have discussed about the presentation of data, how we most probably present over the data. Okay, that most of the important part what you are going to know here. The first part was totally based on the theoretical presentation, that is what descriptive presentation what we make here, textual presentation we can call over here. Probably it is textual. Then second comes to the tabular presentation of data. Now what is this tabular presentation of data? The data which has been presented in the table format is known as tabular presentation of data. It is very simple to understand over here, and even you can answer the concept very easily. What is tabulation or tabular presentation of data? The data which is presented in a table format, which contains rows and columns. What we call over here is tabulation of data. Then, so that's the thing about the tabular presentation of data. So here you can understand very simply the data which has been present in the tabular way is known as tabular presentation of data. So after this, what all things are there over here we shall discuss. Let's see what all things are there. So classification of data, as you already know, everyone know that what this one classification of data we have already done. So most probably you know that it is qualitative in nature, that is what qualitative classification, then quantitative classification, temporal classification, and spatial classification. Most probably we are having four types of classification of data. So here we are going to see what are that four concepts called over here and how it has been classified. Let's see. So as usually classification has been done. Now the same data which has been classified into qualitative, quantitative, and spatial, same we are going to present it. How we are going to present it? Here the presentation of data over here. So what it is? Qualitative classification. Let's see how it is. See, classification of data done on the basis of attributes such as social status. See here, physical status, nationality, religion, etc. It is called as qualitative data. Now most probably in the previous things we saw that the attributes, what are the attributes, just like your intelligence was measured in the qualitative, that then we saw over the in the organization of data about the marital status we saw. This is what the classification was made, but here we are going to present in the sense what qualitative data, how it is presented over here. Let's see. See, classification of data on the basis of attribute. Which are that attributes? Just like social status. Now how social status has been built? If you are the individual person who is the leader of the persons or group, he has been presented as a in the form of leader. Okay, so that is what who leads the people is leader, or else the politicians on the basis of the status the things are been, he is the MLA, he is MP. What it is, on the attributes we are going to, what we are going to do, classify the status. Okay, that is the thing. Then physical status, he is a sportsman, he is a builder. That is what the things we can go through. Then nationality, Indian or NRI, that is what region means, on the caste basis, religion or region, the area wise, even that is what one of the things what we can present over here, the qualitative classification. So it is called as qualitative classification. Here, let's see. In table 3.2 down one, the table, what it is, the attributes of the classification are sex and status of employment. Now the males and females are been taken on the basis of sex, and the one more, employment in what uh, they are working. Yes, first one is self-employed, second one is regular workers, and third one is casual wage laborers. Means for daily purpose, whatever they day to day what they get the wages are the casual. Means some of the time whenever there is a work, they will be called up and they will be given the work. Then regular workers means on the monthly basis what the salary get, they get, that is what the regular workers. Then most probably last one, self-employed, means you are owning your self business, that is what self-employed or small business, whatever the business you are carrying forward, that will be self-employed on your own investment. So here, let's see distribution of employment in India in percentage. We have going to see the distribution of employment, how the employees are being distributed in our India. Let's see. So here, on the basis of sexual things, males and females are there. In males, 51% are self-employed. Total population, 51% peoples are self-employed, and regular workers 18% are there. How much? 18%. And casual are 31%, and remaining other, whatever the part is, then others. So here most probably the highest self-employed people are more for the male. Okay. Then even looking forward to the female part. See, females most probably start small businesses more, just like in normal areas, in our areas, they make up papads or pickles. Okay, that is what small business they start. So here it is self-employed, employed are more in females most probably. Okay, then regular workers are always less. No one like to send female to the work. Now the trend has been changing, but the previous information, it is on the previous data, we are seeing that most probably the girls or the females were not sent to the work. For that purpose, what happens over here is the ratio is very low over here. Then casual workers in the female are more than the this one male. Females are more. Why? Because most probably if you consider the agriculture field, male workers are very few as per the female. Why? Because more of the women's will be working, the females will be working in the field. That is what we call over here. So here, as usually, the ratio is more. So this is what the data which is present on the employment in India about the males and females over here. That's it. So this is what presentation of data on the qualitative classification. What it is? Presentation of data. Now we are going with the presentation of data, fourth chapter. So in that, the classification which is made on the qualitative is been presented over here. So it is totally based on employment, or it is attributes of classification are sex and status of employment. Okay, that's it. So next one, quantitative. Let's see the quantitative classification. Now even quantitative classification means, as usually you know, weight, height, then income, age, productivity or production or marks, etc. These are the quantitative classifications. Okay. Now here the same is been presented in the table. So now most probably remember the part, the data which has been presented in the table format is what tabular presentation of data. Remember this point. So whatever is been the information is been given to you, the presentation of data, what is been given for you is in the table format. So that part we are seeing in the table format. That things you need to remember here. So let's see. The quantitative classification characteristics are measured in quantitatively. In the quantity, the characteristics are measured. That means characteristics like weight, height, income, production, age, marks, etc. are quantitative in nature. In the basis of quantity, we are going to measure the data. So when these data are classified into groups, into classes, is called as quantitative classification, which has been the data which has been classified into the groups or the class intervals, we call it as a quantitative classification. The same quantitative classification has been presented into the tabular presentation. Let's see. You can observe the table which can be explained the quantitative classification in this table, classifying characteristics of weight is a quantifiable, means the weight, information of the weight of the students is been given for you, and that is based on the quantity. quantity means the weight. It may be any of the attribute of that element, just like it may be height, weight, then the income, then the age of the students, or you can go for the production in the quantity, how many units you have produced, or else marks of the students. Let's see here. So distribution of students on the basis of weight in a class of 50 students are there. The same are been classified on the basis of the weight, how much weight they are having. So first group 25 to 35, how many students are there? 5 students are there. Then 35 to 45, how many students are there? 25 students are there. Then 45 to 55, 12 students are there. Then 56 to 65, 8 students are there. The data of the 50 students are being presented in the tabular format. So tabular format means in the form of table. Here in the table you can see over here, one column is of the weight and another column is of the number of students which fall under the that class interval, okay, or the group of the classes. Okay, that is one of the thing which has been classified over here. So the classified data which has been presented in the tabular form. This is what tabular presentation of data what we are seeing over here. So next, temporal classification. What is this temporal classification? Here most probably the classification which is made on the basis of time is what? Temporal classification. See here, time becomes the classifying variable. Obviously the time is been considered as a classifying variable over here, and data are categorized on the basis of time. Obviously here the data which has been classified in the form of or on the basis of time is known as temporal classification. Then time may be in hours, days, weeks, months, years. Obviously the times is been considered on the basis of hours, then days, weeks, months, years. Okay, this is what temporal classification which has been made on the basis of time. Then for example you can refer the table. In this table, classification classifying characteristics of density of population and its value of the scale of time over a time period, how much the density, the total population went on increasing, that we can see. Let's see. In the table format they have taken the census where the data has been collected of the total population, then density of the per area, density per square kilometer, how many people stays, that it has been told over here, density of population in India. See, in the year 1901, density of population per square kilometer there were 77. Then 1951 117, then 1971 177, 1991 2 267, then 2001 324, 2011 382. This is what the density of population means. What over here? The population which covers the area, that is what we call over here. So here it is based totally based on per square kilometer, the area which is occupied by the population, that has been given you in this table. That's it. So this is what the temporal classification which has been classified on the basis of time. It may be the hours, it may be the day, weeks, months, years. That's it. Okay, or decades also. Next one. So most probably this is what the temporal classification. Last, spital. See, spital is totally, as we know, that on the basis of the area or place. See, classification is done on the basis of place here. So here in order, in other words, if data classification is done on the basis of place, it is called spital classification. On the basis of area or place, if you are making the classification, it is called as spital classification. So here this place may be village, town, district. From small place you can say that one of the small villages there, cities are there, talukas are there, then districts are there, then states are there, then countries. This is what on the basis of area. Most probably remember the word, the basis of area or place which has been classified over here. In the example for spiral classification, the numbers of mobile users in different nations are being displayed. the people, the number of peoples which use mobile phones are been shown over here. See, number of mobile users per 1,000 people in 2020, 2021. See, so per 1,000 people, in that if we see the ratio, India 642 peoples are having mobile phones in India. Out of 1,000 peoples, 642 mobile means peoples are having the mobile phones, remaining are not having. But now the ratio may have changed over this. You can go through the ratio. Few of the peoples are having 2 to 3 mobile phones which has been purchased and kept at home only. So this ratio may have changed. This is the previous data which was collected in the year 2010. Now 10 years forward we are. So here the data may have been changed here. In India, how much? 642 out of that 1,000 number of people, 642 are having mobile phones. Then in China, same 642. In Pakistan, 592. And in Singapore, as compared to the 1,000, it is how much? 1,440 mobile phones are there. Means per person may have 2 to 3 mobile phones in this. In this, what happens? Most probably, few of the people may have nearly 2 to 3 mobile phones with them, at least 2. So this is what the ratio of the number of mobile users per 1,000 in the countries: India, Pakistan, China, Singapore. Okay, the highest mobile users are how much? In Singapore. Next it will be in India and China. Then it comes to the Pakistan. This data you can go and update the things, just like you want to. If you want to know the present data, you can go and search on the Google. Just check it out. Number of users, number of mobile users per 1,000 in different countries. If you mention this line sentence over there, you will get all the present data over there. Then let's go for next one. So most probably the main important thing in table, what all things are being required. Now whenever you give the information in the table format, most probably first thing you have to give the table number. Which table? Now only one it is there, means no problem. When you are making any of the research over there or project work over there, 5 to 6 or 10 to 12 tables will be there. That time, how you are going to give? You need to give the table number for that. Next, title. Which information is been present in that table, that you are going to name it in the form of title. Then head note. Just like, see how we have seen in this image, 1,000 people in per 1,000 people. That is what you can show the heading. Just like rupees in crores, rupees in lakhs, rupees in thousand. That narration you will be giving in the head note. Then next one, captions or column heading. Just like what information you are having, serial number, then sex, males and females, then population. That is what column headings we can give. Then stuff heading, the stuff and the row headings. Row means years, 1991, 2001, 2011. That is what the information in the rows column that you are going to show over there. Then next, body of the table. In that, in what information you are having, that we call that the body of the table. Then next one, source node, from where you have collected the data, that we call it as a source node. Here most probably everywhere, whichever the information you collect will be provided by some of the agencies. That agencies we call over here the source node, from where you collected that information will be shown there. And lastly, the footnote. Just like it is the conclusion part, what information is been given in the table, in short you are going to present in the footnote. So this is all about the components or parts of the table, what we call over here. Let's see in the detail what all things are there over here in the tabulation of data and the parts of data. Most probably the tabulation of data we call over here, the data which has been presented in a table format. Then now we are most probably dealing with the parts of the table. Why it is necessary that these things, the components or the parts of table, why they are necessary, we are going to discuss now. So let's see. When the parts of a statistical table are put together systematically, they form a table. See, if I'm giving, let's have the discussion about this. If you are not having the footnote, leave that footnote, head note. Now, whatever the data which has been presented, 4,000, see in this slide we saw, per thousand people, mobile users, that in that foot here, head note you are going to write, or rupees in lakhs or rupees in crores going to mention over there. Okay, in that, if one thing is not there, can you get the information in a right format? आपको information सही में मिलेगा? अगर उसमें से कोई भी एक नहीं हो, उसके हेडिंग्स ना हो, जैसे कि टाइटल ना हो या फिर उसमें कॉलम हेडिंग ना हो, तो कैसा डेटा है, क्या डेटा है, आपको पता चलेगा? डू यू नो दैट यू विल get to know what information is been given to you? No. So most probably when the data has been present in the table, these points has to be kept in mind, and these things should be there in that. Wherever from the data which you have collected, where you are organized, how you are presented, from where you have taken, that you have to mention over here. So most probably, let's see, presentation of data in rows and columns along with some explanatory notes is called tabulation. What it is? Presentation of data in rows and columns. Here you can get one more definition over here. Presentation of data in the rows and columns with the explanatory note. That is what in the footnote you will be giving the explanation of that. In short, what exactly information you have collected. That is what we call over here the footnote. Then is explanatory notes is called tabulation. Then rows are horizontal. Obviously, it is what horizontal is, and columns are vertical, means straight. Columns will be straight. Just you can go through this. See this, the information whatever is been mentioned. These are the rows, and this whatever is been mentioned, these are columns. So this is what the things you can see. Then the table should have the following parts or components. Which are the following parts and component? Table number, then title, head note, then uh, column heading or column, yes, column heading, then row heading, then the body of the table, then source note from where you have collected, then the footnote. In this detail, let's go for the last and the last concept of this tabular presentation of data. Here it is. See, here in this table, how many 8 points are there? 8 parts of tables are there. First, table number. What purpose the table number should be there? It has been told over here. An appropriate table number should be assigned to the table for easy identification and reference in future. See, whenever you make the any of the project or research, you will be having one research file. In that, in which table you are having so and so information, for that understanding or easy, what we can call, uh, for understanding or easily knowing, or yes, reference, easily knowing where the data of which fact is been taken, for easy reference you are going to give the table number, and even on which page number it will be, even that will be presented in the research book. Okay, for what purpose? Means where, which information you want, directly you can go and check in that page number or table number. For that purpose, these things are been given. So here see, an appropriate table number should be assigned to a table for easy identification. Means easily you can identify in the title what you will be writing, table number and title. In that you will easily understand this information is present over there. For that purpose, it should be written on the top of the table. Obviously, when you are going to see, it will be presented on the top of the table. First point which has been written is table number. Second, Title. Title explains the nature of data. Obviously, what information you are going to provide in the table, that it gives the explanation of that. Yes, whatever the information you are going to write in that, that explains in the title. Then it usually appears at the top of the table. Obviously, top of the table only information will be given, or name will be given for that. Then below the table number, obviously after the table number you are going to write the title. Then it should be short and simple. Obviously, as you have collected population, total number of population of India, means in table you are going to get the total population, total number of population in India in the years. That is what the information, the heading should be in short. Okay, that is what title, what we call over here. Okay, next, head note. Now see, just below the table, just below the table number and title, right side, right side means this side, right side of the table, there must be head note, if any is there. Just like populations, population as you crores, see in this here, this what we call over here is head note. Means in this, whatever the information you have, just like if we see the we see say that 135, we are writing here population. Okay, means what it means, 135 crore population is there. In such a way the information will be presented in the head note. Then next, column heading. Now in the column heading, what the things in vertical format, this is what we can say, serial number, you can say name or country, you can say, then total population you can say. Okay, this is what total population, country India, China, Pakistan. In this way the names, these are the what we call this column heading. That is what the captions we can call, or column heading. Column heading are the headings of the vertical columns. They are usually the middle of the columns. Obviously this middle of the column we are going to write the headings. Then next one is row headings, just like this. These are the row headings. Here what things will be there? Horizontal in nature. Obviously horizontal in nature, the horizontal stuff remains extreme left side of the things. Obviously the left side we are having the things. If you see the table, the left side of the information will be there. Then body of the table, whatever the information is there in this, just like country's name, total population China 150, Pakistan 95, then further names. This is what information which is been contained. The body of the table is main component of the table which contains the numerical information. This is what numerical information. In India 135 crore of population is there, in China 140 crores, in Pakistan 95 crores only. That is what the thing. Then source, from where you have collected this information. This has been collected from 2011 census. This is what source in source note, source note. Okay, if it is in it is a brief note indicating the sources of information presented in the table. From where you have presented this information, you are going to write over there. Usually it is written on the bottom of the table. This is what bottom of the table you are written. Then last point is footnote. See, it is a last part of the table. This is last part of the table. It explains the features of the data, whatever the information which is there in this. Okay, that you are going to write in footnote. Footnote. In footnote you are writing all the information over here. See, it features of data, contents of the data, whatever the information is been there. We, as we can see here, the total population of the various countries are been presented in the table. That's it. This is what the footnote you can call here, which cannot be understood by the readers from the table, captions and rows. Whatever the data which has been present, if you are not understanding, in this footnote you can understand. Here we have presented the total number of populations of various countries. If you are writing one line, you will come to know what information you are having over here. So this is what the last point of the tabular parts, components of the table or tabular presentation. This is what the last point. So here we end with the today's concept of tabular presentation of data. Then remaining part we shall be discussing in the next session. Still 2 to 3 minutes are there. If you are having any of the queries, you can raise.